Shalom, friends. Akiva Gersh here. Hope you're doing well. I'm here to share an update on this ongoing war here in this region between Israel and the terrorist organization of Hamas in the Gaza Strip. As you know, this has been going on for many months now, over 3 months. We're actually getting to day 100 of the Israeli hostages being held in captivity by Hamas terrorists. Their plight is beyond description. We can't even imagine what they're going through. We do have evidence of the conditions that they are suffering through in captivity as a result of those hostages who were freed around day 50 or so, sharing about their ordeal and even seeing some of these hostages who are still being kept inside of the Gaza Strip by Hamas. Their conditions are horrific. Barely any food. Some of them experiencing torture. I even recently heard for the first time some of them being held in cages. We can't even imagine, and we pray for the release. There is about to start here in Israel a 24-hour period commemorating the 100 days of their captivity, led by the families of the hostages, joined obviously by thousands of people here in Israel and even events worldwide, to pray for them, to hope for their return, to do whatever we can for the return. Everyone obviously agrees that we want them home now. At the same time, obviously, there is the war going on, and that is very important as well, very difficult, very challenging. But at the same time, Israel has accomplished many great things, taking over huge areas of the Gaza Strip. They're now focusing on military operation on the southern border between Gaza Strip and Egypt to control that area. Major parts of the northern Gaza Strip is under control of the IDF and has been for a while. Same is happening in the middle of the Gaza Strip, in the southern part. The soldiers are fighting very, very hard. This is not an easy war. Sometimes people ask, why is this war taking so long? It's such a small area. And I recently heard in an interview with a very, very high-ranking officer who said the only way to get rid of Hamas is to literally fight street by street, alleyway by alleyway, house by house. And I remember years ago, in a previous war between Israel and Hamas, one of the leading generals of the IDF said, if we ever go to war to get rid of Hamas, right? Because all the wars up until now, 4 or 5 of them, since Israel left the Gaza Strip in 2005, 4 or 5 of the wars that Israel has had against Hamas, their goal was not to get rid of Hamas. It was to put a damper, so to speak, a pause on their rocket attacks. But their goal was never to eradicate Hamas completely until this war. And I remember some years ago, this high-ranking or this top general of the IDF said that if we ever go to war, or when we go to war with Hamas to get rid of Hamas, it will be a very, very long war. And it's proven to be that way. Generals have said very recently that this war could take an entire year in order to get rid of Hamas completely and make sure that they have no more capability, no more ability to control the Gaza Strip. So things obviously still in motion, still hundreds of thousands of reservist soldiers are serving in the north along the Lebanese border, in the south, obviously on the Gazan border, inside Gaza, and all over, because many reservists who have gone into reserve duty right after October 7th, they had to replace other active soldiers so those soldiers can go and fight in Gaza. So they're located in all areas of the country in their reserve duty, allowing these other active soldiers to be on the front lines of this war. And everyone knows somebody, right? Everyone has friends, cousins, brothers, fathers, somebody. It's a very tiny country. We're a small nation here. Everyone knows somebody who's actively fighting right now. Myself, I have nieces and nephews who are in the army right now. Some in their active duty, some in their reservist duty, and they're inside of Gaza and they're fighting right there. And it's intense and it's hard. But what's amazing to see is even 100 days in, everyone knows that this is a war that we have to fight, and we'll continue to fight, and we won't stop fighting until it's over. And what does it mean to be over? When we're victorious and Hamas no longer has any of its capabilities to remain in power and to threaten the safety and security of Israel and its citizens. Another very important development very, very recently was, as a result of the Houthis' attacks on ships in the Red Sea area close to Israel, both the US and the UK bombed areas in Yemen held by the Houthis. That's a major, major development. This is a very Interesting and challenging war because there's multiple fronts. There's the front with Gaza in the south. There's the front with Hezbollah in the north, right? There's the Houthis down in the south. There's always eyes on Iran, and even with Syria, right? Things have been heating up as a continuation of conflicts on the border between Israel and Syria, lasting many, many years. So this is obviously a very, very serious war. Thank God Israel is in a position with great strength and with great power and great ability. And thank God we've seen incredible advancements and incredible achievements, but this is a war that will take time and is taking time. We're about 3 months into it, just a little over, and we will see that this war is going to go on for a long time because this war is different, as I said before, than any other war. This war has to end with Hamas completely being eradicated from the Gaza Strip and Israel taking the lead and figuring out what will be the next chapter of the reality in the Gaza Strip to make sure that there is safety and security for all Israeli citizens, especially those who live on the Gaza border.